Hello, everyone. Welcome to Bitcoin and Altcoin Trading Talk. This is episode 11. Man, we're getting old here. That's 22 weeks of podcasts.
That's
I'm
like a
pretty
decade in
proud of
crypto.
all of us. What was that, Alex?
That's like a decade in crypto.
Yeah, no kidding, man. You're telling me. So, welcome back once again. My name is William Kale, co-founder of Coinery.com. Along with me from Coinery is Rob Borden. How are you doing there, bud?
Hello, doing well.
Doing well.
Oh yeah,
Excellent.
ready for some TA.
Oh, yeah. And then, as usual, we have Brian Beamish, also known as the Rational Investor, with us today.
Hello, everyone. Hello, Will.
Hello, hello. And we have Julian as well, but I think he's muted, so he might be chiming in later. Also from the Rational Investor. And then we have a special guest who is kind of turning into a regular staple on our show here as like the featured guest, I guess we could say. Alex Stirk from Decentralized Vancouver Block Talk. How are you tonight?
I'm doing good, yeah. I'm in the office tonight, so I got some decent internet connection. Yeah, I'm doing good. We're taking a slight break with Block Talk, but we'll be back next Tuesday with Kazonomics, and yeah, we should see some pretty crazy market activity just before then. At least that's what we're all thinking.
Yeah, I love watching those shows with Kaz. I caught some of the one with Brian and Kaz. That was like a firestorm, man. They were going at it for a little while.
Yeah, we'll have to get a part 2 to that debate at some point.
Yeah, title bout rematch. But how you guys all doing tonight?
Fantastic.
Doing great. Yeah, 2 thumbs up.
Oh yeah. So I guess we can kind of jump into it. We had a couple kind of a cool feature that we're pushing, we're deploying on Coinery in the near future, which I wanted to show everybody. Basically, unless Brian is ready, are you ready to jump into some analysis, Brian?
Take your time. Let's. I like the idea of us all just sort of getting settled in and nice and comfortable. I wouldn't mind chit-chatting a little bit about sort of the broader market stuff while we sort of wait for everybody to sort of get settled in, kind of like what you're talking about.
Yeah, we can let some viewers jump on here.
Yeah, for whatever it's worth, I kind of, this is just my feedback. I kind of like to, all right, what's the new toys that we can play with on Coinery this week right off the bat? I love that. So, I know a lot of people watch this for the TA and just to hear my 2 cents and maybe try and learn some new tools. But I'm here to learn from you guys. So when you guys talk, that's where I put my learning cap on. So I really value your presentations.
Well, we could talk your ear off about.
Yeah. Well, anyway, so the point is, I'm not really in a big hurry. What I really want to do is have fun tonight. We've got a new term of the school coming up, and just for fun, we thought, what the heck, why don't we do a little raffle and give away a free seat for the term coming up here in the fall. So we actually have something exciting coming up. I think we're going to do it like halfway through the show or something. And somebody's going to win a free seat. And if they happen to be in the audience, then by all means, I don't know, could we, if they happen to be in the audience and they chime in, can we bring them into the hangout and congratulate them in person? What do you think?
Sure, why not? If they're willing to come in here, absolutely.
Yeah, cool. So, the cool part about this is sort of our really cool way to interact with the community. And I think even the chart that I had produced earlier today, just sort of advertising today's show, I really believe, and I think it's important for people that, regardless of whether you take my trade or whether you take, someone else's recommended trade, what I really want from the audience is to learn this stuff, because this is really valuable info that I think everybody can take something away from these shows. And, really that's the perspective that I'm going to take from this presentation of this material. Whether you take my trade ideas or not, really that's entirely up to your trading plan. And actually, that sort of segues into another interesting thing that I kind of wanted to talk to you guys about tonight. Um, if you're watching this show and you don't already subscribe to Coinergy's newsletter, I would strongly recommend that you do it. I put together recently a nice little PDF that outlines sort of the real value in working with a guy like me, all about taming the beast within you. And working on the different ways of building trading plans to try and remove anxiety from the trade process. And the boys at Coinergy, they instantly set it out to their newsletter subscription service. So if you subscribe to their newsletter, you have in essence gotten just an absolutely incredibly free document in your hands. Do with it as you please. And maybe on just as a dovetail to that, we can throw the link to either the email subscription service or that Google document, because that's great information, and that's really the purpose of what these shows are all about, is to really educate the public on how, first off, I'll leave it at that. I can see Alex is already saying, okay, Brian.
No, go ahead, Brian. I'm trying to dig up the link to that document right now.
Oh, cool. So, that's the one drawback of having a camera on, is I could see your emotions as I'm talking away here. So anyway.
Alex's grimace.
I know. Well, and if anything, that's probably my best marker for when I should stop talking, as I just look at Alex's face.
Yeah, I should relax here, yeah. Or if I start tearing shit down, I guess.
So anyway, for whatever it's worth, my 2 cents. I think I've sort of told the audience before that I approach this from a trader's perspective. I love charts. I mean, I have basically lived charts for like 20 plus years. And I think I've fully explained to the audience that, I'm just as much of a student of crypto as anybody else here. So we're really privileged to have Alex with us tonight, because I've just noticed over, say, the past 6 months or so in dabbling in the altcoin market. I'm a huge fan, and I basically teach it in the course. It's one of the key components of the course, of what I like to call positive mental attitude, or PMA. And I find that those that succeed in trading, and man, I've met some just absolutely incredible people, through the CME and working with prop traders. Ironically enough, the really successful traders in this world, they're the nicest people in the world. And they have such a good positive mental attitude. And so right off the bat, I just wanted to give a shout out. Not only does Alex know his shit, but he has such a good PMA. And really, if anything, can I learn something, I can learn how to have as good of a PMA as Alex has. So welcome back, Alex. Always appreciate your input, and I love your attitude. It's totally awesome.
Oh, thank you. No, it's good to have friends in the space. Like, I got to give a shout out to all the guys in the Jumbuck Slack. I know after your last show, I invited you guys in, and you've been very welcomed, and that's where the happiest people around seem to be. We talk the talk, and we have a fun time doing it.
Yeah, I gotta say, I was in coin markets back in the day, and the Jumbuck Slack is definitely a slightly different experience. There's a lot less, real trolling going on. There's some actual good discussions going on. So, I'm gonna be sticking around, definitely.
Yeah, this is coming from a gnarly old guy, right? I've seen sort of these things come and go, and my hunch is if I could buy Alex futures, I would go long Alex.
Well, funny you should say that. I've been after a discussion.
Funny you should say that. Here comes the sales pitch.
I am looking at starting an index for the altcoins. This is kind of something we were spitballing, actually, all three of us in the Jumbuck Slack and several others, and it's something that I do want to, I guess, build, but I don't want it to be just my my choice. It's going to be something I think tied in with not only this show with Block Talk and maybe another show on Tuesdays on the opposite week. So that's part of the restructuring that we're doing with Block Talk, and hopefully we can kind of get a community vibe going and get a real sentiment of the altcoins.
Yeah.
So yeah,
We have a system in place to produce indexes out of any, combination of markets from different exchanges already. So that'd be something we'd be able to collaborate on if you were interested, for sure.
Perfect. Yeah. So right now it's just a spreadsheet, but I'm going to be digging up a couple cold wallets to actually put my money where my mouth is and do some long-term holds on some of these alts and see if we can, start replacing the Dow Jones one day.
Exactly.
Way to go. Actually, there's one. Well, I guess there's a few of them, eh? Doesn't it allow you to open up a little mutual fund kind of coin thing?
Yeah, like that's more of, I guess, a trading fund, I guess. And there are a lot of traders, and like some people even do altcoins. Like Gambit's a big one right now, where
yeah, that's another
it's
one.
a trading fund, and yeah, there's several guys, and those will probably be part of the overall. I think the idea is that we kind of pick maybe 30 altcoins that really capture the innovation that's going on in altcoins, and we can kind of compare them to Bitcoin. The goal is to have something that increases in value relative to Bitcoin.
Yeah, I suppose that's an aspirational goal. All right. I wanted to ask you guys, did anybody hear about anything that went on with attacks on BTCE recently?
No, like a DDoS attack?
I think it was something like that because I opened up a PAM account this time last year and really didn't do a hell of a lot with it. And was unwinding it, and they were all freaking out about attacks and stuff like that. Maybe they were just BSing me, I don't know. but I was seeing on their message board that they had references to some sort of attack going on.
You know what? I just looked it up. It looks like they have just a whole new slew of phishing attacks, which is, they're just gonna, people send out kind of spoofed emails pretending they're BTCE, expecting you to put in your account information.
So I'm curious, Will, because you have the sort of ARB matrix going now, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you saw one of those really big, like, FU moves that we saw on, like, BTCE, for example, relative to the other exchanges, can your client base take advantage of that fairly quickly?
Yeah, 1 second here. I'm actually opening up our matrix for you to give you a little walkthrough. Yeah, so basically, this is running off of my local system, so it takes a second here. So, I mean, literally we have BTC USD here. At any point, you can just sort the grid and find the highest, which actually, wow, the spread on CCEDK is huge. Interesting, 12%. But yeah, I mean, literally you can just sort it. It's updated every few seconds, and you can see where the spreads exist and just sit here and watch it all day if you want. So.
I wonder if there's a way to create a trading plan around just doing this. I think that you could probably just make a business out of just doing this.
You should mention you can do that with any market, and if you pick in the upper left. I know somebody mentioned they had asked in support if when we were going to add other markets, but you can already do that.
It's not super apparent, but yeah, you click here. I mean, you can literally type in any market. I mean, let's just do like LTC, BTC. Example. So this is piped through every single market in our system, and this actually loads quite a bit faster on the live site. But, so yeah, pretty cool.
Yeah, so impressive. So, and I think you were teasing me recently. You said you might have things like indicator screens coming soon.
Yeah, so the first stage to that's definitely coming. The first stage is our WebSockets-based API, which Rob has just been cranking out like crazy the last couple weeks, and we're nearly there. So once we get everything, basically all of our market data on real-time WebSockets, that's able to be kind of piped out to clients, we'll be able to actually run technical analysis on every market basically in real time. So that's going to be another one of our quote-unquote apps. similar to like
Yeah.
Matrix as an app. We're going to have a market screener. We're going to have a social scanner and block explorer. Those are the three that we're kind of working on behind the scenes. So
Yeah, and if you could put that in like a little app that you can put on your phone, holy crap.
it's coming, man. It's coming. I mean, that's why we're building this crazy, super fast, super high scalability, high availability API. So not only us, but so other people can actually build cool stuff like this. You know, these are kind of like proof of concept apps. I almost want to say, just saying, look what you can do with with this data. And we really want to see, what the community is able to come up with this API, including on mobile, definitely on mobile.
Okay, so here's a question I have for Alex. How do you create a coin that Coinery, like a coin of Coinery? Don't you think that would be a good idea, Rob and Will, to actually have your custom?
Yeah, I mean, that's something that we've been like tossing around forever. How would we do that? How would we integrate it into our platform and turn this more into like a decentralized, autonomous kind of a system?
Man,
so
that
we're
would
all
be
yours.
Yeah, I don't know. There's several ways, but it all depends on what you're trying to go for. If you just want to do a tipping system or something, or if you guys are looking to get more funding, which you clearly deserve. Like that's one way you guys could do just a simple like ICO, or who knows, or even just a miner, a coin that if people mine, then they eventually get like points towards membership. There's tons of ways you could do it, but I don't know. I want to see more developments. I think in the Ethereum work to really see what we can build on top of that, or even when stuff comes down the pipeline like MadeSafe, that's supposed to be great for web hosting. So.
Yeah, I've been reading just a ton on actually building apps on decentralized chains and smart contracts and everything, and just trying to kind of keep in the back of my mind, what kind of cool thing can we build on Ethereum or on MadeSafe, and so getting a lot of ideas.
Yeah, I'm so honestly, I'm so bullish of your guys' future. So I think you guys are going to do really, really well.
Well, thanks, Brian. Right back at you, buddy.
We're trying. Keep chugging.
Yeah.
All right,
chugging
so
along.
we've had a little banter. Is there anything in crypto world now that we got Alex here that sort of is hot in the news today that we should be paying attention to?
Oh, geez, I've been trying to catch up on work right now. There's a reason I'm on a break.
Okay.
I don't know, just the recent rise in Bitcoin. It's still the same argument right now with this whole block size debate, and there was just something posted actually a couple moments ago about XT, something about, I guess, they've been suffering, or no, William, you posted that, okay.
Yeah, the whole BIP 100 controversy and Bitcoin XT, and apparently I didn't actually read the whole article, so I don't know how they're being attacked, but it said basically people are either attacking nodes or they're attacking users somehow of Bitcoin XT because they're against it.
I thought it was interesting. It's interesting. I don't even hear from you guys. The news, and again, this is sort of maybe Mr. Stock Market talking, but the news that I'm hearing about Bitcoin is the Chinese, the People's Bank of China got really worried about capital outflows there about a week or so ago, and they clamped down on people taking money out of the country. And there was a guy who, and I retweeted it, so anybody who's interested, just follow my Twitter feed and go fish through it. I suppose I could find the headline for you. But a guy on Zero Hedge was making the argument that Bitcoin should see a huge bid now that the Chinese are cracking down on capital outflows, because they were saying that, it was just in the billions of dollars was just being moved through things like Western Union. Theoretically, the Chinese are, with their equity market very weak and all the scuttlebutt recently, what the perception of why I think Bitcoin's price was moving up recently was more to do with Chinese buying in the face of a bit of a panic over there. So I don't know. You guys have any thoughts on that, or is it irrelevant? It's up to you.
I don't know, man. I mean, the thing is with the Chinese exchanges, it's so hard to know what volume is real, what volume is not real. We were talking to somebody. I was talking to somebody in the JBS chat today, actually, and they were just talking about how, potentially the Chinese exchanges are actually remarketing. So, like Huobi, for example, you would place an order on Huobi, but they would actually be placing that on OKCoin. There's all this stuff, so it's really hard to say, how much real volume is actually there, and how scared China really is. But
Okay. All right.
just my 2 cents.
Well, what do you think? Shall we get into these charts? And
Yeah, let's do some altcoin 5, I think.
Let's dive
Alright.
in.
Yeah.
Okay, so we started off. I actually volunteered the first victim tonight, just because I thought it was interesting. I've been taking a lot of profits on trades recently, and so what ended up happening for me, and I just got to make sure I have the right screen up here. Which am I showing you? Okay, there's that. So then let's pop over here.
So Brian, real quick, I just want to mention, while you're going through the altcoin 5, you'll be able to see, our viewers will be able to see on William's screen that we have a new tab coming on the Coinery interface, and it shows various information about the coin, such as the market cap and other things, and maybe later William will go into more detail, but I just wanted to mention that you'll be able to see some information about the coin we're discussing on William's screen as you go through.
Yeah, I'm going to talk just so it shows up for a second. But
yeah,
so,
if you click his box in the bottom right, if you're on a desktop at least, you can see his screen momentarily.
Yeah, so I mean, this is our our new economy tab basically. We may change that to fundamentals. I don't know. If anybody's watching, we have the Q&A app open. Let me know if you think it should be economy or fundamentals. Just leave a message on the
or something else altogether.
Or something else altogether. Yeah. But basically, we've been pulling in data from various sources all over the place, just trying to figure out trying to build a fundamental picture of basically every possible coin we can. So, for example, for Bitcoin, we only have we're still filling this data, so we only have five sections, but we have a link to like the official Bitcoin Twitter, obviously Bitcoin Talk, the official Bitcoin Wallet website, and the white paper. And then we have, for example, any other coin really. I mean, let's just do like Litecoin, for example, LTCC.
I thought of actually something else you could maybe add to this tab. If you guys maybe pulled the cash tag on Twitter, like $LTC, and then whatever tweeted about it, that'd be kind of cool.
You're getting ahead of us, Alex. Honestly, that's what's up next. We're gonna have another tab which is
social
news or social scanning, where we're basically for any altcoin you'll be able to just see a live feed of Twitter, Bitcoin Talk, pretty much anywhere that we can scrape data from. So,
William, how did you switch from BTC to LTC there?
Oh, well, good question, Rob. You just click this handy little button up here on top. The same way you switch. It's the same way that you switch the volume on the markets. If you want to see it in LTC or in BTC.
So, can you create like a sort of favorites list?
We can. What did you have in mind? I mean, we have technically favorites right now, which is like a watch list.
Like let's say somebody has a portfolio of 20 or 30 coins, right? Could they just scroll through the list and maybe hit the up key or down key to move to the next coin in their list?
Yeah, we have that right now. I mean, you can't really scroll through, but for example, right here, if you click show or hide favorites, for right now I have just a couple favorites, but you can just switch on through them. Basically, looks like I have filtered by LTC. Let's see, what do I have here mostly? Like here's B2B.
And it would also be cool in this feed if you could have like maybe go and scrape some of the major websites. I think that's what Alex just said a moment ago. But like I said, scrape like the first maybe 2 or 3 What's that site that everybody likes? The Anon site? What's it? What do you? When they go Anon in the message board?
Bitcoin talk.
Is that what it is? Yeah.
Yeah.
You're not
I don't
thinking
know.
of 4chan, are you?
All I'm just thinking
anonymous
is,
stuff.
Slash B.
I don't think we want to scrape 4chan.
but I don't know whether even scrape is the right word. Might be totally the wrong word, right? I'm just thinking it would be cool if you just had like right on this screen here, just like what's actually going on in the chat rooms and stuff.
Yeah, that's definitely coming. So.
Yeah, cool.
All right, so let's do some Altcoin
we're
5.
getting off topic here. That went off on a tangent.
Okay. All right. So I'll put on my screen. Hopefully everybody can see it. As I was saying a few minutes ago, I've been taking quite a bit of profits on coins recently, and I actually was sitting on quite a bit of Bitcoin. And so I actually even put out a message the other day, just basically, and I'm just trying to find it here. I guess I don't see it. Anyway, I just said to the Twitter universe, and I love doing this, and this is where I really get the great value out of the internet, is I just put out a message to the world. I just said, you know what, give me some names to take a look at. I'm really interested. I've got some powder dry, and I want to go shopping. And Jesse Couch, and I think we've interacted with Jesse Couch quite a bit. He seems to have quite a few comments that are positive in this space. He came in back with a whole list of them for me to look at, and one of them jumped out at me, and that was this DOPE or Dope coin. I think basically these are just proxies on the marijuana coin play. And do we want to do a couple minute summary of this coin? Alex, do you have anything to say about this thing?
Well, I don't know. I don't even know when it started. I guess last year in March is the oldest data I got on it, but their website's actually down, and they only have about 12 grand in market cap. And the only thing socially I've seen about it is the fact that we're doing the show on it. So, yeah, it's.
I thought it was, somebody even said earlier today, oh, wow, you've started a storm of conversation on this. So,
I thought I read somewhere there's kind of like a war on the pot coins right now or something. They're all fighting amongst each other or something, but I really don't know anything about it.
Yeah, and you kind of know my approach. I want to just own a little bit of everything. And so we had that wonderful, crazy, nutso rally in Cannes last year. You remember that? So that gave me a free position there. Pod, I think, did the same. There's Mary Jane. I think there's also another one called THC, and some of those had just remarkable runs.
And Hempcoin.
Yeah. So there's a whole bunch of them, and it was my attitude with these things is, frankly, I don't know who's going to be the winner or loser in the long run. It's really just a question for me of, if I am going to, put my money to work and, take a shot on an investment, am I walking into a trap, right? And that's, that's been a huge part of sort of my message that I want to convey to this audience, is really what I want to try and get people to do is kind of stop, buying face rip rallies up and try and, hunt to enter positions when they're kind of at their weakest, ironically enough. And this one, in my opinion, if it was going to die, and it's only at 30 some odd ticks here, in my opinion, this isn't a bad place to have a little bit of coin working. Like I said, I've gotten profits on some other trades that I've done. I've got some Bitcoin sitting on the sidelines. And so, frankly speaking, I kind of like the idea of taking a shot off of these lows. Really, you can see this. I don't even know what happens. Can a coin technically go below zero? I don't think so. And really, do I anticipate this thing going straight up tomorrow? No. But, from a trade location perspective, I kind of like the idea of taking a nibble off of the bottoms here. And I think I talked about like THC, for example. It was one of these El Cheapos too. And here's a great example right in here where if you took a nibble off of the bottom here, this rally would have given you your free coins. And then what it does after that, I don't really care. I do care, obviously. It's an asset, but if I can get into a free position, then I'm not, worried about actually risking any of my original capital. You can see actually how this one's broken down again. So what it says to me is, I don't think that there's, a big hurry to buy the marijuana coins. But at the same time, I don't think you're walking into a trap. And so I think I went and took 0.035 BTC, and I'm working a bid on the little one here. Let's put it back on the screen here for you. Come on. There we are, dope. Down here at the reload zone, right? You guys have probably remember me talking about 61.8 to 78.6.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just going to take a little nibble off of these lows. I do like to see that somebody's trying to put a bottom in the volume here. I'm a fan of the volume impetus. And literally what I do is I just take a look at the up volume bars, and if I see them going up, making higher highs, then it just simply says to me that the bulls are in charge. If we start to see lower up green bars, then it means the bulls are maybe backing away. And we got a pretty big up green bar. I don't know who this was. I don't know what their story is. But somebody went and bought 5.48 million coins here. How much money does that actually come out to? You can do the math. It's not a hell of a lot of money. But really, I don't have a problem if I'm going to take a nibble that I just simply want to try and ride on this guy's coattails. Is it a pound the table, got to get in there and buy it today? I don't think so. Can it explore new lows? I think it could. And seasonally, we're coming into kind of a tough time. You guys all remember how basically a lot of these coins bottomed in the late fall, early winter.
Yeah, we're going to start seeing some more alts are dead tweets soon.
Yeah, that wouldn't surprise me. But the interesting thing is there are some other very interesting stories. And, this is sort of a bit of a commentary on a speculator's life. Sadly, the public is most interested here after it's had a big jump and everybody's all rah, rah, rah. I would be willing to bet there wasn't a lot of positive talk in this thing when it was down here. I might argue the same thing, and frankly, the fact that the boards are very quiet, and that kind of says to me that maybe this story is washed out. And I also kind of like the fact that the marijuana coins are kind of on the outs now. Nobody's really interested in them. The sad part about it, and here's a great example, and I'll just finish up with this because I know I'm probably talking too much. We played this can last year into this crazy rally, and I remember, when we were actually getting our sort of indications that maybe we should take a look at buying this thing, is sort of the similar kind of scenario where it had a big run up and then it just quieted down and people kind of lost interest in the coin. I'm kind of feeling that we're sort of seeing the same thing set up on a lot of these. I would ideally, for those people that really want to time their trades and really, be really slick and know that you're trading with the trend, you could clearly see that, you guys remember M's and W's, right?
Refresh my memory?
All right. So the bottom line here is...
A little bit of that market structure.
We remember M's and W's.
So if we start looking at this from a bit higher perspective, there are the intraday bars. They're all over the place, right? But if we even look at clotheslines, what we would ideally like to see is give me a nice W, right? Maybe this is it. Down, up, down, breakout. So we'll know that this thing starts trending in earnest if these lows hold, right? If we start, I guess, moving up through here, and then ideally, we would really start to say that it's trending hard if, we go down, up, breakout up here. So with that sort of idea in mind, people are not interested in the pot coins. We're very close to zero. We're only at 31 ticks. Is it in my best interest to go fishing and pick up maybe 1-2% of my portfolio value to work in a name off of these lows? I like the idea, and I am working bids. I'm not going to bet the farm. You guys know exactly how I trade.
Yeah.
But
I mean, I don't think you really can bet the farm either. I mean, it's a $12,000 market cap, So
that's right.
I mean, really, you could put in $500 and put some motion into that market if you so choose,
Probably, and those people that are saying, okay, Brian, 5% of my portfolio is $500. My advice is just work bids. There's no hurry here. Just slowly work bids and let the market fill you over time. The long and short of it here is, as I said before, a lot of coins, like here's a great one. Check this one out, right? What the hell was I selling here? RBY, right? Sadly, a lot of, especially when I was a broker in the retail stock business, a lot of people in the public come to stories here. And really, all I want to do is just get the audience to not buy these kind of moves because you've missed them. And, very similar to the pot coins, I would argue buying the pot coins would be very similar to buying this ruby down when it was a piece of shit down here and nobody was interested in it. All right? Does that make sense?
I'm glad you brought that up, Brian, because I made a joke tweet earlier today that it seems like all the hubbub right now is about trading fund coins. Like Gamma's going up, Ruby went up, and now there's even kind of a scam coin out there. Bot is out there. So this is kind of the flavor of the week or the flavor of the month in like trading funds or trading coins. Like not to downplay GAM or anything like that, but it's funny that the market kind of moves in phases. Like, what is all the interest on right now? And,
right, and that's an excellent point, right? And so what we need to understand as traders is the public is getting sucked into this. But what do you think this is, guys? Do you think this is a buying event for us traders or a take profits event?
Take profits.
It depends what bar you're talking about.
Well, look at Will. You can see the W here, right? Down.
How many doubles are in there, Brian?
Down, up, right? Can you see the W in there?
Mm-hmm.
And we do lots of these, right? We could do Altcoin. In fact, one coin we're going to talk about later has the exact same thing, and the silly coin literally comes right down, and we'll get to it later. You'll see it. It comes right down to the original buy level, and on Ruby, for example, that's right here. It came right down to the original buy level and went doot, 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 and started the rally again. So, the simple message for the audience is I really want you to get out of the habit of buying during the face rip, right? This is not where we want to be investing. And ironically enough, this is the oldest cliche, right? You want to be buying when others are selling, and you want to be selling when others are buying.
Right on. So what's up next? What do we have up on the plate?
Okay, I'm sorry, I'm talking way too much.
Brian, you're doing fine.
Okay, thank you.
You're doing just fine.
Okay, next on the block. So, and just to finish off, Dope, right there is that year chart. I kind of like the idea of owning a little bit of this.
Next.
Right? All right, Alex is like, enough. Okay, moving right along. So next on the block we had, and I gotta, where did I do all these?
I think it was Mona.
Mona.
I think Mona was number 2.
Let's see what we got there.
So I could probably lead in on this. It's a Japanese version of Dogecoin. I guess it's really popular, and it's hilarious because it's literally a cat versus the Dogecoin dog. Anyways, I think most of the reason for some price movement or some possible fundamental movement going on right now is there's going to be a hard fork at block 450,000, and currently we're at block 445,000 and a half. Yeah, so not too much longer. There's going to be some new tech going into this thing.
So kind of like Litecoin. My question would be, do you think that that would be priced into the asset ahead of the event?
Generally, forks are looked at as a bad thing, but
Okay.
it depends, I guess, on why they're forking. I would say, yeah, there would be some movement ahead of the event, or ahead of the announcement even. Maybe that's where these last couple spikes have come from, is when they announced they were going to fork.
Alex,
But,
does that say that it's built on dark matter gravity wave manipulation?
dark gravity wave implementation. Yeah, it's a type of I don't know, some algorithm deal. But for
Okay,
the most
so it's
part,
an
I thought it was,
actual algo. It's not just some kind of crazy space fantasy.
yeah, it's a type of algo. And yeah, they all have crazy names. If it wasn't
Okay.
nerdy, it wouldn't be crypto.
Exactly.
So TA wise, this is a nice triangle. Everybody can see the triangle, right? We can call this a wedge, right? You can see how it put up a hell of a fight here in the reload zone. Look at that beautiful W. Will, can you see that W?
I see it.
All right. Led to a nice counter trend rally. Market structure top, yeah, very emmy. I wouldn't be surprised if maybe the fork news was this would be back in the early to middle of the summer, was maybe being filtered out. I'm a little concerned here that we've lost this trend line. You can see that volume is kind of wishy-washy right now. We'd like to really see some buyers step up here and confirm this double bottom. We had a little bit of a bullish divergence that actually was formed here, so you can actually see that the market really tries to set up a long here. So, on balance, we have this original range, and you can see how the market really respected this wide reload zone here, eh? One hell of a fight. And I really don't like the fact that we've sort of lost this level right in here, which just so happened to be 61.8. So, off of this range, you can see how this has turned into a real battle zone. For me personally, I just don't see enough for me to pull the trigger here to add this to the portfolio. A couple things that do jump out at me that look interesting, though. Candlestick pattern, and actually this should be a good commentary. I don't know whether these will trade enough. Yeah, look at the volume is extremely low on these, right? So it's going to be awfully tough to day trade this kind of thing. But can you see, guys, here how the market came down? Then the next bar was an inside bar. Then we lost the low. But now we're trying to recapture. And can you see how this high of this wick right here is right off of this trend line and the 13 EMA?
Mm-hmm.
Right? So you can clearly see there is some sort of battle point right here, right off of that level. If we zoom in on, let's say, like an intraday chart for all those sort of traders out there in the world, you can now, for those people that are looking to trade, we're looking at lower time frame. Your setups really don't change, right? It's just that if you are going to trade on margin or anything like that, you have to respect your stops. So we can kind of see off of the lower time frames how this might set up a counter trend rally window up into here. The issue here is going to be, number one, do you want to try and play this double bottom for a trade up into here? Is the risk on the trade justifiable with the amount of reward that could potentially be in there? The only other thing I might say, though, is that, we have broken down here. I don't really like the look of the higher time frames. For those that are thinking about, trading intraday kind of thing, you might want to consider maybe hunting shorts right up in this zone as well, right off of that horizontal support and resistance level. So put it all together, kind of on the fence, not too impressed with the trend line action. And I don't see enough anecdotal evidence here internally for me to get too excited. And really, I would just sort of say for a guy like me, I'd take a pass on, as it doesn't really, get me too excited at current levels. All right. I don't know whether, and the interesting thing about this, guys, is as a market technician, I could go through 100 charts, and maybe only a half a dozen are really going to jump out at me. 80 of those 90 charts are going to be stories like this, where it's just sort of like in the middle of the trading range. It's caught between this channel. There might be a lower time frame day trade, but really nothing for me to get too excited about at present.
Well, that's where those screeners/scanners are going to come in handy.
Exactly. And, here's a great example. Right? We were just talking about volume impetus, right? Can you guys see how the bullish volume bars, the green bars, the bulls have kind of disappeared here? If we had a screener that jumped out at us and showed us maybe OBV cross, or higher highs and higher lows on volume, or even a volume breakout, or a Willie cross, Willie, maybe even a screen that says, hey, pay attention, Willie's stupid. Those kind of things can be extremely valuable.
That's the idea.
Yeah. So, all right, next on the block, how are we doing on time? Am I talking too much?
No, we're doing just fine.
Next
up is Geocoin. Let me just take a look at this.
Revisiting Geo.
Revisiting Geo. I like this coin, though.
We did Geo a long time ago.
Yeah. If you remember, Brian, that's the geocaching coin where they actually will go out. Users can, and I believe the initial developers and miners went out, and you can actually drop coins at physical places on the Earth, and then other people can pick those coins up.
So I guess the question would be...
Where's Alex at? He knows about it.
Yeah, Alex knows all about Geocoin.
Yeah, Geocoin actually was mentioned on our first Block Talk show on the pilot. Gambler really was speaking highly of it. And it was kind of funny at that time because he really wanted to stop talking about it because he hadn't gotten his bids in yet. But this is an amazing coin that's doing something innovative with doing GPS location on their blockchain, so you can actually tag locations and maybe hide like a paper wallet there. And I think this going forward in the future, if a GPS provider wants to pick up on this or doing apps or something on it, it's got a lot of potential. The coolest thing I've heard about it was in regards to drone delivery. So I guess one thing that's in the U.S. is you actually own the 400 feet above your house in airspace, and after that the FAA regulates it more, or something. I may be incorrect when quoting this, but you could possibly charge drones that go through your property Geocoins based on the GPS location.
Oh wow, that's really interesting.
So if you lived in a major drone shipping route, this coin would be a very valuable tool in the way that we might be shipping stuff in the next 5 to 10 years.
Or you set up a laser guidance system to shoot drones down unless they pay you your Geocoin.
Exactly. Trespassing.
You shoot Geocoins at them.
Yeah.
Sorry. All right. And this is the cool part about the space that we're in, right? We have no idea who's going to be the ultimate winners and losers of this game, and some of the stories that are going to ultimately come out at the end of all this are just going to be mind-boggling. When I used to work in the stock market, we used to always say you just simply cannot write better fiction than reality. So the idea that we're going to have drones zipping around only 400 feet above our heads, oh boy, that scares me.
I wish I had my webcam plugged in because I have a drone here that I built.
Oh, cool. One of our site members, Jonathan, just an awesome trader. Man, I'm so proud of Jonathan. Anyway, he's got a drone, and he's always inviting me out to Chilliwack to go fly it around. So cool what he can do with it. Okay, so let's get on to Geo here. Indeed, I do remember we talked about this in the spring, maybe might even have been the early summer. And I liked it so much that I went and took some nibbles. I'm basically the nibbles that I took. I'm long, my silly, well, not silly, but my sort of range strategy, right? Identifying trading ranges. Actually, we should probably do it there to there, right? I don't really have a problem being long this down in this area. The issue here is your sort of strategic approach, right? In our school program, and a direct reference to that Google document I made reference to earlier tonight.
Which, by the way, I tweeted out earlier, so if you check twitter.com/Coinery, that document's available on our feed.
All right. We really stress, thank you very much, Will. We really stress the idea that you really should be working with a trading plan. And so your behavior, your actions should all be pre-mapped out in your trading plan. Now, I've made it clear from day one that I'm approaching my altcoin trading. This is me. This is Brian. I'm approaching this very much the way that I approached trading penny stocks, in that I'm going to try and buy markets off of the lows, and I'm just going to look to sell halves on doubles, right? And the strategy has treated us very well. At the same time, in the trading plan, I explicitly lay out my risk. And, in my trading plan, I explicitly say that I'm not going to risk more than 5% of my stake on any one single play. That's what we call our little old lady strategy. And in fact, what I often do with a lot of these altcoin trades, and you guys can see from my tweets and my trades and bulletins and stuff, I often only put maybe 2 or 3% of my portfolio in that, frankly, I don't know if these are the ultimate bottoms. And I think this coin is an excellent example where it really tried to bottom. We can see the potential W's coming in here, and it just couldn't get going, could it? And it lost this key low here. Now, this often happens in venture capital, right? Where whoever is taking a position in this coin now, maybe they're not the same people that were running the show back here. And they just clearly want to flush out any sort of weak hands that are remaining. Now, when I was a futures trader, I used to actually work with guys that would literally buy 1 or 2 ticks below this low or sell 1 or 2 ticks above this high. Here, they would have shorted right in here. Looked pretty darn good, eh? And what I see here is that basically they did the sort of what we call FU clean out. And lo and behold, look at what's happened here, right? Where's that key low? It's right there. Right? Look at this battle. Isn't this is so cool. So you could build your trading plan around sort of my futures boys guys. In fact, one of the guys called was scalps, and they used to call it the up thrusts, and what the hell was the other one? Up thrusts and spikes or something like that, where literally they would literally buy a break of these lows. Look how incredible that trade strategy is working, eh?
Yeah, well, it's a sure bet.
Well, nothing's ever sure in this world, right? You could hunt for M's and W's, right? I don't see any, lots of Emmy. Oh, look, finally got a little bit of a W, right? There are a million different ways to trade. I'm not here to tell you that my way is the way you should trade, right? That's not how trading works, right? And ironically enough, when it comes to trading, it's really more about your own personality and identifying who you are and what kind of risks you like to take that will identify your strategy. For me, like I said, I put I think about 2 or 3%. What do we got in Geo? I think we got maybe like 0.05 or something of this. Yeah, 0.05, 0.053. I mean,
You
not
know,
a hell of a
Brian,
lot.
Brian, I hate to cut you off, but you know you can connect your Bittrex account directly with Coinery.
I
And
know, I
actually,
know. You want me to, and I will,
we have
and I.
really cool portfolio monitoring tools, stuff that's just not available on the exchanges.
Historical value tracking split out
You
by
are so
coin.
right. You are so right.
Just thought I'd mention that.
No,
We're
good,
trying to
good.
get Brian to connect his accounts.
So with regard to this guy, full disclosure, I bought a whack of it down in here. Didn't buy a heck of a lot, so really I can take, heat on this. If you're margin trading, you can't have that luxury, right? If we break double bottoms, if W's happen to be in your trading plan, then you gotta exit. And you have to understand that this is venture capital. This is by definition the most risky kind of asset one can trade. So flush of FU stop out levels, that's par for the course in this game, right? And you just have to accept that. That's one reason why I won't bet the farm on any one of these coins, right? Is I'm very conservative. I want to see my account balance go up. Now, having said that, here in the short term, I really like what I see here. And what's really cool about this is, let's say you identified this trading range and you took a shot here, right? That's what, 67, 6,800 we'll call it. I think you could actually realistically get a double, right? 6,800, that would be better part of 14,000. All that's really saying is you're just asking for a test of these highs, right? I don't think that's unrealistic. At the same time, though, like I said, if you're going to margin trade, leverage trade, take way more risk, and, in our course we identify the 4 different types of traders. Little old lady, as I outlined before, she doesn't have to worry. She just buys and, I'm just going to risk that amount of coin. And frankly, I love doing little old lady because it makes this game really easy and a lot of fun. If you want to margin and leverage trade yourself, for example, on this trade, if you did take this, then you better have your stop firm in here, and if your stop level gets hit, you got to get the heck out, right? You just have no choice, and that's a trader's life. If you were margin trading this, then I would say, minimum risk reward, you got to be able to see at least 2 to 1. So that would set up a target somewhere up in here, and there's the 200 period moving average. I think that's a realistic objective. So good looking little coin. Nice little trade there, and of course, like I said, I'm long, and I'm going to be selling halves on doubles, yada, yada, yada.
Cool.
So a big hi to Tobler. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. He's the developer of Geocoin. I joined his Slack actually last minute here and told him about the show, and he really liked the overview, and yeah.
Good.
Yeah, good open dev.
I like the fact that Gambler was so positive on it. And, I think if anything, this is an excellent analogy of you can have a really good fundamental story, but, if they just can't break it out, if they just can't get the buyers interested, it just, it could just flounder, right? Kind of, a lot. And gee whiz, what a coincidence. You're seeing charts where prices are just sort of bumping along the lows that I'd be interested in buying, right?
All right, Brian. So what's up next on the altcoin agenda?
I think we have Vertcoin up next.
Okay, how are we doing on time? Am I talking too much?
No, we're in about an hour. We have 2 coins left, and then we have our fantabulous giveaway.
Of
Okay.
course.
So we have about a half an hour to run through 2 coins, and try to keep it about an hour and a half usually. That's usually how long we run. So.
Okay.
So let's keep it rolling.
ETC, Vertcoin.
Oh yeah, I like that. This is, I think I'm long a bunch of this. You know, through the spring, I think we did pretty well on it.
Got a pretty significant market cap too.
Yeah, in fact, look at
1.2
that.
billion US dollars.
I've only got 0.01 left. I think I have a funny feeling this thing did a face rip and we got a whole bunch of this off. Which might mean actually I might if it, yeah, there you go. Wow. If you go back and look at our tweets, we were banging coin out the whole way up, and then of course we're just gonna let this thing settle down. The reason why I kind of like this thing, and great testament of a coin that we were talking about earlier. You know, looking at the marijuana coins, can you guys appreciate that this guy, when it was sort of doing this, was very similar to what our conversation was earlier about the marijuana coins, right? They're right on their lows, nobody's interested, they look like crap, blah, 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 right? And what we do as technicians is ideally we get interested when we see this, and we're sort of like, you know, if this thing is going to rally and people are going to short it, the whales or whatever you want to call them, where is it most likely to rally to? And we sort of say, okay, this is probably a good window. So lo and behold, boom! Look how that happened, eh? That's ridiculous. Can you guys see that?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
That's nuts. So the point of the matter here is that this is, you know, very much like we said with Ruby, right? And we, in the spring and the early summer, we looked at Altcoin. Remember, it did sort of the same kind of thing. Big face rip up, and then they unwind. Here's something that everybody that's watching the show today can take home and take to the bank. There's an old adage in the market that says that if an asset goes up too far too fast, then it's most likely it's going to have to retrace a good chunk of that rally. So ironically enough, when it comes to investors, you kind of want to see good old Gann's 45-degree angle, right, for a nice healthy uptrend. Let's see if we can do this. How would we do this? Well, that's not exactly the message I'm trying to convey here. Anyway, the point of the matter here is that within less than a month, right, this thing went from 7,000 up to 24,000. Is that right, or 240,000?
240,000. Wow. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, maybe that's a little too far too fast, right? And so when you get these big face rips, it shouldn't surprise to see the market basically take a huge chunk of that back. We saw it on Cannabis Coin, right? When it had its big face rip up, it basically had to give it all back, right? It's kind of why I'm a little bit concerned for people that might chase this Ruby, right? Because look at this crazy move. My hunch is this is too far, too fast. It's got to give a chunk of it back. So with that said, let's go back to our vert there. Oh, here. VTC, right?
VTC, yep.
Okay, so with that said, you can see how they've basically taken a big chunk of this rally back, right? What I find really interesting about this, and we've talked a lot about this, is you can see where they originally broke this coin out, right? You can see the W. It's a bit sloppy, but, well, I suppose it's not really the best. If anything, that's a bit concerning. But this was a significant resistance peak, and you can see how they brought it back down here and then ratcheted right off of that. The fact that this, I'm sorry?
No, I was just saying that's interesting how both of those points meet.
Yeah, well, you know, this is our concept of horizontal support and resistance. There, I would be willing to bet dollars to donuts that there were a bunch of people that had open orders to buy this level when this broke out here, and they never got filled. And the market moved up, and the people that had the open orders in there, they were either like, I'm not going to chase this thing. If it ever comes back down to the original bottom, I'll buy it. Or there might even be people that just forgot that they had the open orders working there. And sure enough, this happens a lot in the market. This is very, very normal. This is the concept of horizontal support and resistance. So we tagged that level. The open orders were so overwhelming that it ratcheted the market the other direction. You see that? The problem, and actually I just noticed this, right? The problem is that this is not really that great of a market structure bottom, is it? You know, if anything,
It's a weak W if I've ever seen one.
Right. In fact, we had a student back last year who used to call them these sloppy double bottoms. Really, my advice here is this isn't a solid double bottom. Don't even consider it a double bottom. This is a low, and you can see, you know, whoever was running this coin, you can really see how they put the low in down here, eh? That's pretty cheeky down, right down in there. And my hunch here is these lows will probably need to be tested. That's just a hunch. No guarantees from the management, but that's just sort of my general 2 cents. If these lows here, again, there's a V bottom, not really the cleanest of W's. We had a dead cat bounce, and then bam, we just put in some nasty market structure. Can you guys see the M here? Up, down, up, fail. Right? So whoever's running this story, they just put the brakes on this thing right here. Just said, whoa, slow down. And look, they did it on fairly heavy volume, relatively speaking, right? We talked about volume impetus before. You can see the red candles were kind of soft here, and then all of a sudden the bears just came awake here, right? So a little bit concerning there. As it stands right now, this isn't enough for me to consider a trade. I would ideally, if this is the bottom, I'd like to see these lows tested. It turn around, confirm a W, something along maybe, these lines, down, up, down, breakout. And then after the breakout here, I would love to hunt reload zone at that point. But that's asking quite a bit. And that's definitely going to be some point down the road in the future. So can't touch this right now.
Yeah, and fundamentally, I liked Vertcoin to start with. Like it was a pretty good coin back when it was $1 and people were mining it and paying for their rigs. But yeah, you can't be sustainable with that many people mining. And the idea of this coin is that their goal is to never have specialized hardware mining it, which if you're trying to be the most efficient network out there, like you look at Doge, like, oh yeah, anyone can mine Doge, like you merge mining on everything, so it's never going to disappear. Where Vertcoin, they're trying to make their coin expensive to run.
Yeah, and that's kind of counterproductive.
Yeah, so the only people mining it were just mining it to dump, and like it was very profitable for the longest time, but it wasn't sustainable. And now you have those whales that are just playing with it, but the other thing too is their mining schedule is really aggressive. Like they're trying to produce the same amount of coins as Litecoin. But yeah, 4 years for block halvings. Like if you're trying to like overcome Litecoin or Bitcoin, you need to have like a more aggressive schedule. You want to get to deflation faster. So yeah, I would say probably avoid Vertcoin for the most part. And maybe if it establishes that very bottom again, but yeah, unless mining costs go down in terms of GPUs, it's pretty hard to buy this one.
Okie dokie. So, sorry, Vertcoin people. I don't like to be the bearer of bad commentary. All I'll just simply say is I do have some of my free coins left, and I'm just going to sit on my free coins. And show me what you got, Vertcoin.
Show me the money.
That's right.
So what's our last coin?
And we got one more, don't we?
Yeah, Opal.
Opal. All right. Who's got the skinny on this
one?
Alex, do you know much about it?
Actually, what I do know about it is from what Jesse Couch told me, and yeah, we actually did have him on Salon Talks, another show with Decentralized Vancouver, and the guy who runs it, well, the kid that runs it is the one behind the story, the 15-year-old Bitcoin kid. So he's I guess the Bitcoin dude at his high school, and he actually created Opal, and I think there's like some stuff going on with smart assets like colored coins and whatnot. Geez, what was the other news? Oh yeah, what did Julian say about it? It was to do with BTC Jam, the lending site, and I guess the guy.
That's right. I saw that on GBS.
Yeah, it's basically just saying that the guy who was loaning Bitcoin for Opal coin support, the payout for it was incredible. Like people were getting 50% back on their Bitcoins that they were loaning for this project. So
Wow.
I think that's part of the reason why it's getting a lot of support. Like the lenders are really seeing the development behind this, and this kid's probably pretty legit. I mean, like at 15, what's the worst he's gonna do with that kind of money?
I don't know. Have you ever seen Justin Bieber? He's from your neck of the woods, hey?
Oh yeah, the old Stratford boy. Yeah. Let's not talk about that anymore.
Yeah, I didn't mean to bring up a sore nationalism
met him, but go to Stratford when he's not there. It's a beautiful town.
All right.
So what do you see in the charts, Brian?
Sorry for derailing that train there.
That's okay. Technically, again, guys, lots of broken records for me, right? Ideally, what we really want to do is just get the public to stop buying on these sort of face rips up and start to, look at investing your hard-earned money when it starts acting like this. This actually looks very interesting to me. I'm a little concerned that the money flow isn't that healthy. And while I like the trade location, I would really like to see some money flow back into this. This has actually taken a lot of damage through here. I'm not quite sure what the story was, why it failed through here, but technically speaking, this thing's been beat up pretty hard. We're looking at a V bottom at best on OBV right now. And if we look at volume impetus, these were these big spike, bars here, 1.37 million, 1.2 million. Now we're doing like 7,293. Oh, there's a big day, 88,000. So where are the buyers? We'd really like to see the buyers come back. Having said that, we talked about trade location. I like the idea of, if you are going to risk your hard-earned money, can you guys see? Here's just yet another example where here was the original sort of WE bottomy pattern. Here was the big old breakout right here. And I would imagine there were probably a lot of people, just as I said with the last story, that simply had open orders working at these levels. And should the market ever come back down to these levels, they're going to be a buyer. And sure enough, ching, 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 ching. Look how they're getting filled in here. Also, too, I wouldn't be surprised if, quote unquote, the smart money has sort of staked their position right through this zone, too. There's that ICO or listing high. We better be careful when we use the term ICO. Whatever this was, I suppose if we look on Cryptsy and other exchanges, it might even go further back. But you can see how this was definitely a trading range, and the market broke out through that on some sort of, euphoric optimism. Well, this is the next best thing since sliced bread. If it ever got back down into this range, hopefully you guys can appreciate, the reload zone, its whole concept, its whole idea is that if this is an uptrend and whatever the story here is bullish, then this is the area, this reload zone, 61.8, 78.6, is the most likely area that the bulls are going to defend this uptrend. That's the whole premise behind this reload zone concept. Now, with that said, look at what's happening right in here, right? Coming up against the old historic breakout highs, you can see that the bulls said no. 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 Every time they wanted to punch it down into this range, they keep saying no, no. They did it again, no. Now, this is a cool little thing. You know, you guys have heard me talk about reload zone within reload zone, or RLZ within
Yeah, we had a
RLZ.
crazy one last time. We had
Yeah,
like a
yeah.
super quadruple duper quarter pounder reload zone.
Yeah, and I love those, right? So hopefully you guys can appreciate that was the bigger. There's that bigger reload zone up top there. And then if we look at just this trading range, that sets up this reload zone, right? And sure enough, look how when they broad market down here, look at the cute little double bottom in here. Now, you know, your day trader community, we can do the same thing off of like the hourly charts. Some of these altcoins just don't trade enough volume to justify day trading ideas. If this day traded super duper volume, then I suppose we could look at the 1 hour. But interestingly enough, again, you know, we just do high back to low, and there's reload zone there. So guess where I'm thinking about working bids? Right, and the good part about this, guys, is I'll put my money to work, you know, where my mouth is. So I don't have a problem whatsoever taking a nibble off of this guy down here. I don't know whether this is enough to justify day trading. This would be awfully difficult for new people to trading to consider. Really, for new people to investing, and you know, Brian, I work in an engineering department or whatever. I don't, you know, I'm not a super chart enthusiast. I don't watch the DOM 24/7. I just want generally simple ideas to follow. Can you guys appreciate that we have a pretty wide W trying to come in here? Can you guys see this, where we went down, up, down, and if we can close above this level, that will be a fairly significant structural signal. You see how it tried to do it here? Down, up, down, got up here, oh, couldn't hold it and crapped out. All right? So watch for the W that might come in here, right? It might be the sort of the first signal that, hey, something's brewing here, and we might be seeing the end of this sort of correction and the start of the new leg higher. And, you know, on balance, I like the trade location. The only thing that's really missing out of this picture is I would love to see some buyers come back here. I don't like the look of this volume pattern just yet, and that kind of leads me to believe that this thing still needs to do a bit more work.
I will say too, though, I don't know if it was mentioned, this has a $60,000 US market cap, so not huge, but you know, in terms of alts, it's bigger than most.
This was the high school crypto guy, right?
Yep.
Oh, there's a whole team here too, though. Like, I'm not gonna say it's just him, but they actually got a lot of stuff here, like HTML5 wallet, messaging, stealth addresses, cloud storage. I don't know if that's probably running yet, but I think that's probably in their pipeline for what they're working on. But like, I was just watching a video here on their app. Yeah, it's pretty solid development. They're definitely gunning for the top.
All right. Well, so that tells me that, you know, if you're going to risk your hard-earned money on a crypto idea, this is not a bad name to keep on your radar screen. Maybe take a little bit of a nibble here, right? Little old lady approach. And then if we start, you know, higher highs and higher lows, maybe start adding to the position and build a position going forward. I like the idea that if you were going to have a shopping list in crypto, this one would definitely be on the shopping list.
Cool. Good deal.
So, yeah. Brian, you're actually going to give away a full-length session to your crypto trading school?
Yeah, well, you know, this is our 1-year anniversary. We've been running this for a year now. Time flies. Absolutely incredible.
Nice.
I think Julian has been working quite hard on putting all this together just tonight here. So, you know, I won't talk too much about it. You know, I'm just trying to find our page here. You know, we every term we have a new term, and you know, we get a whole bunch of new people. We had, I think, 2 seats open for the North American session. And so, we want to fill them up. So we thought, why not, some good karma. Let's maybe reach out to the community and see if we can help somebody along by giving away a free term. I think it builds good karma for the community, and I think we should be able to help somebody out along the way. So I'm really excited about that. That's right. Thank you for that reminder, Rob. Julian, are you here?
Yep, right here.
Cool.
I've got my little cup with all of our names in it. I don't know if everyone can see that out in the audience. I've got them all in there.
We're presenting it. I was wondering what you were doing there, Julian, and then it dawned on me. I thought you were just.
I thought those were $100 bills or something.
Nope, gonna do it the
tossing
old-fashioned way. I thought about using some kind of like putting everyone's name next to a number on an Excel and doing like a random number generator. But I thought this would be more fun. We'll pick one out of here.
So as Julian's picking, just I guess a heads up. This is it's a 3-month program. So whoever wins, you're going to be working with me for the next 3 months. You have that Google document. You can always go to our school page and learn more about the school on your own. But really, whoever wins this, you're going to be our little guinea pig, and I'm going to want to bring you on, future Coinery shows as an update. I think actually, too, if I'm not mistaken, we've got Alex enrolled in the fall program as well. So we're really, this is great because we also hopefully can get some really good feedback from Alex. So without further ado, I'll be quiet. I'm going to leave the floor open to Julian.
Can I jump in real quick? I just wanted to say too, I sat in on a couple classes of Brian's class, and I mean, it is amazing. I mean, it opened my eyes to so much just in terms of fundamental, human emotion and the way that demographics work and how they influence the market, stuff that I never really had thought of before. So he's not just another signal seller. I mean, there's quite a few people like that out there. Brian really wants you to understand how things work from the fundamental level. So it's a great program.
Thank you very much, Will. I appreciate that too, because just the last thing I'll say is that what I actually teach is behavior modification. That's actually what I teach. And I don't want people to focus on, this one indicator or that one indicator. The real value people get with working with me is this idea of removing the anxiety from the trading process. That's the key to being able to be successful over the long term. Okay, Julian, you have the floor. I'm going to go on mute because I just talk way too much. Sorry, guys.
You do talk a lot sometimes. All right, so I'm going to pick the name out. Again, it's right here just so everyone can see. I'm just going to go in and pick one out. So I'm going to look around here and I'll just...
Come on. I know I can win this.
All right, let's see who this is. It says John at Johnny K. King. Very sorry,
nice.
Alex. I did put your name in there, though, because I saw you retweeted, so I put you in there.
So actually, I was messaging on the Jumbuck Slack right now. Johnny King was just like, who won Brian's course? And
so Johnny, wait, he's in
nice.
Slack?
So it's a JBS
awesome.
guy.
Yeah,
I'll
in fact, I was.
Well, congratulations, Mr. King. Here you are. I'll show it. I don't know if you can see it on the screen. There you go.
Way to go, Johnny. We need to have a sound effect. Who knows how to do the Google sound effects here?
Yeah, that's $450.
Yeah, way to go.
That's a great value.
Actually, and that's good karma too, because he was really, really excited about the program, but he couldn't figure out how to do it this fall. So actually, that's good. I'm glad that we got him in here. Excellent.
If it keeps on giving,
I think I'll pick a second place person just in case Johnny can't take it for some reason. Why do I do that?
he doesn't believe me. I told him he won, but he's calling.
I'm gonna pick someone else just in case.
Well, hey, Alex, if you got him there, just give him the Hangout address.
All right, here's our second place. If he can't make it, Wild Duck at Relga is the @name. That's our other person.
All right, Wild Duck, way to go! You came in second. Woo-hoo. So, yeah, if we could get John, I mean, how are we doing on time here? Have I talked? I talked way
We
too much.
probably have to, hop off. But if Johnny
We're
can pop
wrapping it
in
up.
here,
If he's around, he should join up.
Yeah, I'm trying to get him right now. He says he's out doing something, but maybe he can just pop in quickly on the phone.
Yeah, maybe. Anyway, so way to go, Johnny! Woohoo! So when he watches this later, so you're gonna get awfully sick of listening to my voice, Johnny.
Yes, get 12 hours of personal one-on-one time with Beamish.
That's right. Well, the classes are like 2 to 3 hours, and there's 12 of them, so that's like 36 hours. Then an hour of one-on-one tutorial time times 12, so that's 48 hours. Wow, 48 hours of the Beamish. Poor
When
guy.
you think about it, that's actually a really good deal for
Yeah,
$4.50.
that's like $10 an hour. That's not bad.
It's ridiculously good deal.
And well, it's not $10 an hour. It's $0 an hour for Johnny. Woo!
Are you gonna go over though, Brian, or are you pretty good on your
Am I gonna
time?
go over? Yeah, probably. Odds are it'll probably be 50 or 60 hours.
Okay.
The
gonna-
one thing I absolutely love is the sound of my own voice. No
Johnny's
comment. Well, everybody's like, yep,
Yeah, it
you're
looks.
absolutely right,
I'm
Brian.
watching the conversation between Alex and Johnny.
Oh,
Looks
I
like
think
he
we
might-
have
Hey,
our
there he
winner
is.
here.
Oh, all right.
Our big winner.
Is this Johnny? Come in, Johnny! Oh, maybe. Anyway.
We're getting something.
What's up, Johnny?
Oh, geez, maybe you should turn off his video feed.
Yeah,
Yeah, is he on his cell phone?
yeah, I
Yeah.
think so.
Yeah, just reduce the bandwidth to like total minimum.
Just turn the video off, just audio.
Well, we gave it a shot.
Yeah, well, he's here in spirit, so that at least.
He came in to claim it. Yep.
Anyway, all right, I think I'm done. Anybody else have something to say?
Well, Alex, just let John know to send us an email at or tweet us, and we'll get in contact with him and get him set up with everything.
Yeah. I'm sure you guys can communicate on the JBS Slack here.
Oh yeah, okay. So Brian's on that. We'll do that there.
Oh
Okay.
yeah.
Well, Johnny,
Alright.
Johnny, you got me on Twitter. If you could just go, I don't know whether you can go into the text box and just type yes or no, and I don't know whether you can hear us or not. Maybe you'll watch this later. There's a million different ways to get in contact with us. No big deal. We'll get you all hooked up and ready to go. Congratulations again. That's all that I want to say. Way to go. Woohoo!
Right
All
on.
right.
All right, and I guess while I'm here, I should touch on, just so everyone knows, we are getting close to launching our new site soon. So at the latest, by the end of this month, we're going to try to launch it. We've got some really exciting stuff coming. We're going to be running 3 portfolios. We've got a full crypto portfolio set up, and we've got a stock portfolio, and then anyone with like a retirement account or 401k, we're going to be running that too, so you can follow Brian's real live trades as he makes them. So
Yeah, man,
you can just
stock
make the
market's
same trades as
great.
Brian. And we've been working on the algo that we're running. We're going to be running an algo. I've been personally testing it with my own funds. I actually shorted Home Depot today with a couple puts, and I'm up 30%. So pretty happy so far.
That was a wicked reversal, man.
It is great. I love that.
Pull up the Home Depot chart. It just cracked out today. It was so cool.
Well, I just wanted to, mention that we're getting close. It's going to be a whole new world for TRI in about a month.
Yeah, totally
A
stoked.
whole new world.
On that note, I think we've pretty much run out of topics to talk about.
Yeah, I think we can sign off.
Block
Thank
Thank you very much, Alex. Great job as always.
Yeah, I guess we should just mention, make sure to check out Coinery.com, make sure to check out therationalinvestor.co, and search for Block Talk on YouTube.
Our Twitter handle is block_talk, and yeah, you can follow all the info there.
Do you have a website, Alex?
We do have a domain. I'm currently trying to build it right now, but I've been trying to put more time into it, but work is catching up with me quick. But part of the whole indicator and everything, or the index that I want to build, is have it all on the website. So we'll get there eventually. Otherwise, just check out decentralvancouver.com. And check out both of our shows. There's lots of good information and cool stuff coming from developers.
Cool.
Awesome.
And I also wanted to mention, those of you watching who are still with us here at the end, go ahead and like and subscribe, because it helps us out, notifies you. I hate to be the guy to beg, but don't forget, like and subscribe. You'll be notified of all of our new videos and everything going forward. So great. Well, on that note, I think we can call it an end here, and have
That's a wrap.
I'm going to
have
bed.
a great night. Rob's
Night,
going to bed.
everyone.
Good night.
Bye, guys.
Have a